Lucy the elephant was experiencing her second pregnancy, which proved to be even more challenging and prolonged than her first. After enduring many hours of labor filled with pain and distress, she finally delivered her calf, causing the park staff to gaze in amazement at the newborn. The employees at Amboseli National Park in Kenya were quick to respond when they observed Lucy exhibiting signs of labor, promptly summoning a veterinarian to aid her. Although this was not her first birthing experience, having previously delivered a calf 2 years earlier, the first had been unexpectedly tough, and she had managed without showing much discomfort. This time around, her pregnancy was detected early on, appearing quite burdensome and seemingly uncomfortable. As Lucy appeared ill at ease, given her apparent discomfort, the zookeepers monitored her closely when she started pacing and making loud noises within her enclosure. It was clear that she was in for a tough labor. Lucy's pain was intense, and her vocalizations to her herd and the staff seemed like pleas for assistance. No position brought her relief. She paced continuously and scraped against trees, trying to alleviate her discomfort. The labor moved sluggishly, intensifying her suffering. Her cries resonated through the area, and the sound attracted both predators and other animals, drawn by the possibility of an easy prey. Luckily, Lucy was surrounded by her herd, who created a shield around her. They appeared equally worried yet were intent on keeping intruders at bay. The park staff stood by, hopeful for her recovery from this ordeal. The attending veterinarian was vigilant, prepared to step in. When Lucy suddenly became still, after a tense few minutes, a ranger decided to check whether she had given birth, only to discover something totally unexpected. He exclaimed loudly in surprise, prompting the rest of the team to hurry over, and they were equally amazed by what they saw. The occurrence of an elephant giving birth to twins was so exceptional that it was almost never recorded, with the previous instance being back in 1980. Suddenly, the reason behind Lucy's unusually large size during her pregnancy became clear. She was carrying 2 calves, not just one. While the discovery of the twins initially brought shock and joy, it soon turned to concern among the park staff. Twin births are exceedingly rare in nature for elephants because typically, the physical demands of birthing and raising more than one calf are too great. This concern deepened when they observed how Lucy's older daughter reacted to the newborn twins. Different from the rest of the herd, she appeared visibly irritated by her new brothers, lacking the nurturing demeanor expected of an elder sibling, and watching them with a stern expression. The staff felt compelled to step in. Yet the principles governing their work in the national park dictated that they must let nature take its course. Therefore, they could only observe. Normally, elder siblings in elephant groups show warmth and acceptance to their younger kin. However, this scenario was an exception. The older sister showed her displeasure by stomping her feet and making mock charges at the newborns, who were less than an hour old, clearly signaling her displeasure to the rest of the herd. Lucy's family was closely bonded and well organized, enabling her to depend on the family elders to manage her daughter's discipline. This arrangement played out as expected, with the staff observing. One of the senior female elephants gently nudged the young one aside and tenderly caressed her with her trunk, which gradually soothed the little elephant. The staff felt relieved by this, as they were particularly protective of the newborns, whose births held great importance for the entire elephant community. The team kept a close eye on Lucy and was keen to see how the twins would behave next. It was always a heartwarming moment to watch a newborn elephant attempt to stand. They wobbled unsteadily, as if intoxicated, seemingly at odds with their own limbs. Lucy's twins were no exception. When one of them managed to stand, he appeared robust and bold, advancing a few steps before tumbling back down. Yet, he showed great resolve, quickly attempting to rise again, only to fall. His size was notable, and the staff envisioned him growing into a large, commanding bull. Standing up for the first time proved to be a formidable challenge for him. Despite his earnest attempts, he struggled to coordinate his limbs, with only his head visibly striving to keep balance. After half an hour of persistent effort, he rested, clearly worn out. While his tiredness was expected, it was also a cause for concern among the keepers. Things were looking bleak for the second of the twin calves. The first twin, healthy and typical for a newborn, clumsily approached their mother, bumping into her and caressing her with little nudges. This endearing interaction warmed Lucy, who reciprocated with a soft touch. As Lucy attended to her firstborn with maternal affection, it became apparent to the staff that she was also visibly distressed about her other calf. The intelligent elephant was aware she had another child needing her attention. Spotting her second calf motionless in the grass, Lucy's concern was palpable. Overcoming her tiredness, she hurried over and gently prodded the calf with her trunk, making anxious noises. When there was no response, the rest of the herd picked up on Lucy's distress and started to gather around to investigate. They warmly embraced the first twin, showing affection as they moved. However, their demeanor shifted to one of sorrow as they approached the frail second twin. Their calls took on a mournful tone as they tried to offer comfort just by being near. Another mother from the herd even left her own calf momentarily to assist Lucy, both using their trunks to encourage the weak calf to stand. To no avail, their growing concern was evident as they began to stomp their feet in frustration. Lucy's frustration manifested in her flapping her ears at her calf, a sign of her distress that did not escape the notice of the herd, heightening their own anxiety. The park staff felt helpless, watching as the elephants confronted the harsh reality themselves. It seemed the second twin might not rise, and the herd appeared to grieve what seemed like an imminent loss. In the wild, an animal that can't move is vulnerable, and this harsh truth weighed heavily on them all. Nevertheless, the young elephant grasped the significance of the situation. His mother and other relatives were close by, ready to offer their support and assistance whenever needed. Summoning his energy once more, he attempted to stand up. He exerted all his effort, pushing and rocking until he successfully raised his body off the ground. And then something extraordinary occurred. As he barely lifted himself, ready to succumb to gravity once more, he realized his mother had encircled him with her trunk, supporting his weight. This surprising aid brought immense relief and marvel to the whole group. When Lucy eventually let go of her calf, with his mother's invaluable assistance, the young elephant was able to stand and take his initial steps. He didn't move as swiftly as his sibling, but he was progressing. The mood around the valley changed dramatically. For the first time since the twins were born, there was a hopeful sign that all would be well. The elephants joyfully lifted their trunks and sounded unified trumpeting calls, signaling to the valley that the newest members would thrive. The park staff allowed the joyful celebration to unfold and retreated to their camp, delighted to have observed such a significant event. Indeed, it's rare for anyone to witness the birth of elephant twins and such an inspiring example of unity and support among the herd and the newborns. Upon arriving at the camp, everyone was initially skeptical of the news they had received. They suspected it was a joke until the staff presented them with fuzzy images of the newborn twin calves, which sparked jealousy among their peers for having missed such a remarkable event. Consequently, the entire camp was eager to visit the birth site the following morning. There, they were greeted by the awe-inspiring sight of the tiny elephant twins, distinguishable from each other even from afar. Without delay, a staff member captured a stunning photograph of the twins and shared it online, hoping to showcase the wonder of the twin birth and the evident closeness within the elephant family. The photograph quickly spread across social media, surpassing all expectations with its reach and garnering thousands of supportive comments. However, the widespread attention also brought unwanted interest that the park would rather have not attracted. Amboseli National Park in Kenya, known for its large elephant population exceeding 1,000, was a favored spot among international visitors eager to witness these grand animals. The viral photo of the elephant twins heightened demand among tourists to witness this rare occurrence firsthand. While this kind of attention generally benefits parks, it also carried the risk of attracting unethical activities from hunters and poachers looking to capitalize on the situation. As a result of the viral photo, poachers became aware of the vulnerable, valuable calves roaming the park. This urgency led to an immediate increase in security measures at the park, which had previously suffered the loss of 10 elephants in 2017 due to diseases and poaching incidents. Poaching presented a daily challenge that was heart-wrenching to confront. The sight of ensnared or deceased wildlife during their patrols was among the most distressing aspects for the park staff, as the problem escalated It became necessary to employ over 300 local community members as rangers to bolster security measures. These rangers took turns safeguarding the cherished terrain where they also resided in close proximity. The birth of two extremely endangered elephant calves within the reserve prompted them to focus intensely on these young animals' protection. They committed substantial effort to ensure the safety and health of the twin calves, particularly when one of them began showing signs of lethargy and distress. Fortunately, their vigilant care helped the calf recover, though the situation soon took a new turn. Concerned about the calves, the rangers contacted the park's veterinarian and suggested a checkup for the following day. Upon arrival, the veterinarian faced the challenge of examining the second calf, which was closely guarded by its family and herd, who were wary of any potential threats. Despite the protective barrier, the vet observed from a safe distance and initially believed the calf was in good health. However, as the calf began to move, it became apparent that its condition was more severe than anticipated. The veterinarian's concern grew as he observed signs that the calf was struggling to thrive. Faced with the complexities of intervening in natural processes, he felt powerless and apprehensive about the calf's future, bracing himself for any possible adverse outcomes. Initially, he secured approval from the wildlife authorities before effortlessly approaching the young elephant. At first sight, it was apparent that the calf required help with its nutrition, prompting the veterinarian to closely watch and track its movements. After observing for several hours, he determined that administering a nutritional injection would significantly benefit the calf's delicate condition, choosing the optimal location for the shot. The vet called for assistance from those around him. It was then that chaos ensued. Terrified at the sight of the encroaching figures, the little elephant panicked, having never encountered humans so closely, particularly one wielding a sizable syringe. The calf became alarmed, realizing they were approaching him. He started to stumble on his unstable legs in a bid to escape. Although tranquilizers and darts were common tools for the vets and park keepers in calming animals, this situation required the vet to get near enough to gauge the calf's weight and prepare an accurate dose of supplements. However, the task of examining the elephant calf quickly escalated into a challenging ordeal. The calf's frightened and evasive maneuvers, paradoxically, seemed to invigorate it, much to the vet's dismay. This behavior, however, indicated that neurologically, the calf was sound and merely needed physical intervention. Thankfully, the vet was in an ideal position to provide the necessary assistance. When the veterinarian was able to get close to the calf, he administered an injection and then encouraged it to run, knowing that the exercise would aid its recovery and that making the process playful would enhance its cooperation. Consequently, the vet dedicated daily sessions to the young calf until its elder sibling began to copy its actions. At that point, he entrusted the older sibling with conducting the therapy sessions alongside her little brother. Although the arrival of the twin calves had initially left the older sister feeling somewhat overshadowed, she soon fully embraced her new role. She was reassured by the continued affection from her mother and delighted by having two new companions to play with the help of the veterinarian and Lucy's diligent efforts. The weaker calf quickly caught up to the rest of the herd and developed the strength to fend for itself. The park was now home to a healthy pair of twins, whose interactions could be observed by many in their natural habitat. This success story affirmed the remarkable resilience of nature, with all involved emerging better off. After watching the story above, do you have any thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comment section. If you enjoyed our video, please like, subscribe, and share our channel. That's all about today's stories. See you next time.